We needed to have a situation where as soon as APC won the election, but mind you, APC is a party in evolution, okay? As soon as they won the election, they would have set up systems and processes to evolve a dynamics for leadership and rulership.
Okay, in our case,
around those we voted for.
If I may
around those we voted for. Because there is no place for power to a national leader or national leaders in a presidential system of governance. Wow. There is no place for executive power. Okay. The executive power is in the president and his aides, who are the ministers and whatever, special assistants, and then the National Assembly, in this case, is supposed to be making laws that help the president to deliver what has been promised and also to check the executive. So that's why I'm saying if you have strategic vision and you have orientation after the politicking, you cannot politic in vacuum. Okay, so we ended up, one, taking slogan as strategy, two, politicking in vacuum, and then allowing individuals to struggle for power in the upper house. Okay,
that was not a plan.
No, we didn't. It wasn't a plan. It was the outcome. It was something that just broke out, and it broke out because of mismanagement. Also, remember that somebody as senior as Kwakwanzo was neither in the International Conference Center, according to him, nor at the inauguration. And this is a very critical day in the life of the
But he's a very experienced politician.
Yeah, but the important thing is that he was in neither place.
So that raises some questions.
It raises the question of the failure of management before the event. Normally we say in management there is meeting before the meeting, meeting during the meeting, and meeting after the meeting.
Would you now
in order to have things going.
Would you say that the kind of structure that is being run now, the party has become a distraction to those elected?
Of course, yes. Of course, yes. That is what we're playing out now. The party, you know, there is something that is you can call, you know, self-motivated suicide, you know, but this one is not suicide. The party needed to downplay itself and then let the functionaries they have brought out to govern Nigeria rise, okay, intermingle with them. There will still be horse trading, okay, and then as soon as leadership emerges, there needed to have been serious, what I call sacrificial heroism. Because as we move along this discussion, we shall discuss what happened after.
Yeah, but
what happened during the crisis.
This particular
what happened during the, because there's critical issues. Yeah. We have tried to look at the background.
Well, while you discuss what happened during the crisis, also add to this, because you say the party needed to allow certain things happen.
Yeah.
But since they missed it, they can't afford to send the wrong signal, because you have people within the same party who are thinking, look, you have to enforce discipline. There's got to be discipline, because if you don't do it now, who knows? It may fester.
You can't, you know, illegality cannot sue.
So what do they do?
Excuse me. The first point is that illegality cannot sue. If the party was not supposed to be an active player in the elections, okay, then the party cannot be enforcing what it should not have done in the first place. There should have been behind the background coercion and horse trading, that is give and take, and the people would have known how to vote, okay, as members of the same party. If they had orientation, had intermingling, had planning together in the 7 weeks, because it is within the plan that you decide who can do what.
Let's look at the evolution you talked about. You say APC is a party in evolution.
Yeah.
And because if you evolve, you have to also find out where you are evolving towards or to. But for this, we have the Konkonsia group, whether you like it or not, led by Konkonso. You also have the group by the Senate President, his own group is there, under the Baraje people who were the NPDP at that point in time, who finally, the new PDP who left and became members of the APC. We also have the core members of the APC people who were also there. That 2 months period, they fretted away. They didn't sit down to talk and harmonize ideas, as you have just espoused, cost them what we have just seen.
Yeah.
Is it too late for all these groups we just mentioned to come back to the table and chart a way forward so that they don't evolve into not.
Yeah, that is in looking at the solution. But before looking at the solution, let us just take a little bit of time to look at the damage done by the way the tragedy befell APC on the 9th. Okay? The fact that the party leaders and some of the elected people were streaming into the International Conference Center in exuberant, buoyant mode, okay? And 1 minute later, scuttled out, frustrated, humiliated, angry, was another point of extreme mismanagement by the APC leadership. Since they were already riding the high crest of victory, and they had entered a private space, okay? And this mishap happened. They should have taken 3 deep breaths. But immediately they had reflex reaction, and all the reflex reactions were negative. In any negative in any negative situation, the standard teaching in progress management, in active life, in lifestyle, individual, is take 2 steps backward, okay, and find a positive within the negative. Life is about finding positive in negative and expanding your positives.
Doesn't it depend on who is finding that positive?
No, for everybody, because there is something that is negative. Something that is positive is positive. You can find a reason to strangle somebody because something negative has occurred. But if you find something positive in it, you may change that person to become a pastor tomorrow. Okay, so that is, life is not, we are not starting life today. Human life has been there for a few millions of years, maybe. But the standard things that make progress, whether you take Washington, whether you take Winston Churchill, all the people who have brought about change, okay, whether you take Jefferson, whoever you take, whether you take Gandhi, all the people that have brought change that is lasting and positive have always taken positive out of negative and expanded the positives they have. All the people that have ruined their families, their lives, their businesses, and their countries are those who go in doggedly in expanding negatives, multiplying one negative by another negative, unconsciously, because life is driven by emotion. You need to, in the neuroscience of emotional intelligence, you find that a lot of decisions are not made consciously by rational thinking. Okay, let's go back to the National Assembly anyway. If they had taken 2 deep breaths, 3 deep breaths, okay, which is the standard of the teaching, because this is physiological, and then ask their members to please go to the National Assembly, since the president has said that some kind of constitutional something had occurred. And then the leadership locked up themselves for the next 6 hours, okay? Maybe take the first hour to just understand what it is, and then the next 5 hours to just talk banter and let out steam within themselves in an enclosed place where the media wouldn't see them. But as soon as all of them rushed out from that place, in this very negative mood, okay, it became international news. And it was drama, really. It was a lot of drama. And it's what movies and soap operas are made of. And that is why Nigerians, those of us who are not politicians, are enjoying it. But it is not good for our country, okay? This is a country that has all the potentials to be one of the greatest countries in the world, and we thought that this is now, since we just finished with a party that missed its opportunity, that this party would use the experience of the past 16 years to take us to the next level of positive. But if we play this wrongly, we'll go below what the terrible things that the PDP left behind.
Let me see, if you say playing it wrongly, and that takes me back to, if I could go back to your model of development, where you talked about forming, storming, and norming. Yeah. Does that mean that if they don't form, storm, and norm, they cannot...
You norm and storm.
They cannot norm, storm, form before it then perform. Yeah. Or is it just straight-jacketed? It must follow through that process?
If you go, for example, if you can start quarreling before you have normed, before you have even said who will be what, okay, what you will have, okay, the animosity of quarreling okay, makes you to have deficiency in the fundamentals. Okay? If you don't have a strategic vision, if you don't reduce your strategic vision to operational strategies, to core values, to core goals, and then have tactics, and then you begin to look, first of all, with human resources management, that is who will be what. Okay? Then the struggle for people who are who are competing for space overwhelms everything else. Okay? So in this case, in this particular case, if the party had given its elected members opportunity, just interacting, there's so much that happens by people interacting in a good ambience over just 1 week, okay, all of them, okay, to break down some of these hard groups so that it becomes more fluid, so that people mix among the groups and begin to even know who they are, and then from there you can now move on.